Hey, good morning. How are you doing? I guess I'm gonna start this by stating the obvious that I am fucked up. I am completely fucked up, and that's my own mistake. And I'll tell you why. You're deadening. Yeah, I'm a fucking deadite at this point. I half expect fucking Ash to walk through the door and blow me away with a boomstick, but yeah, I'm fucked. I don't know. And it's all my mistake. I own it, okay? And I'll get to that. I'll confess my sins. I'll confess my sins of um, spending way too much time without realizing, checking out Final Fantasy's Dawn Trail expansion. So, and I'm gonna talk about that, but I'm not gonna talk about that now. What's gonna happen instead is I will stream a little bit of a rant regarding Guild Wars 2, because as you know, the spear beta is up, and I did try spears on two classes, because those are just the classes that I know the best, and I do main. And for the rest, I can't really speak, though I talked to Neris about it, for example, who is an elementalist enthusiast, and Neris had some good feedback on that thing, which I will mention, but it's not something I can talk about because I just don't know elementalist at all. I don't have one, never will, never touch it. So basically what you're stepping into right now, you probably know more about elementalist than the guy who designed the spear. Yeah, I can believe that. Just the same way that I'm pretty sure I know a lot more about warrior than the guy who designed that spear. And if it's the same guy, then that makes, all of the sense in the world. And if that's the same guy who designed the thief spear, well, that doesn't make sense at all. And we'll get to that, but let me close up my intro here. First of all, I'd like to thank someone in particular, and I'll find them right now. I'll find their name, that is. I won't find the person. That would be creepy. Let me just give me a moment here to just fuck around with Twitch on my phone. So, yeah. Where is it? Come on. What? Where did it go? Anyway, somebody subbed at one point. Somebody who wasn't Neris, and OBS just didn't show it. At least not on my end, because OBS is OBS. So whoever that was, thank you very much, kind stranger. I really appreciate it. And I think that's a good closing to my intro, right? So what you're stepping into here is just me ranting about my experience with spears. I'm not gonna be showing you because you've seen everything already anyway. I still labeled this as Guild Wars 2. Sorry, as I said, haven't even slept for 4 hours. I'm not even kidding, I'm fucked. My voice is tired. And my face is tired as well. It's like fucking Mass Effect Andromeda here. So I haven't even had coffee. I immediately went into into some personal business, and then I just immediately streamed. That's how much I appreciate you, I guess. What was I saying? Yeah, so what you're stepping into is not gameplay. It's not going to be it's just me ranting with some kind of abstract Guild Wars stuff in the background, literally just abstract. But it's still about Guild Wars 2, so I labeled it as such. And if you feel like tricked by that, yeah, I guess that's a valid feeling. What can I tell you? I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just a girl, okay? So, and I just stream. That's all I do. So, yeah. I don't know if that offends you, then okay. And if not, welcome and enjoy. So that's what you're getting into here. Just a rant, probably or possibly like shorter than an hour, because I want to also do the same for Final Fantasy, and that's why I mentioned it earlier. So at one point I am going to drop this stream and start it again, and it's gonna be the same. So just ranting about Final Fantasy, because there is. I mean, I guess I could like include it in a single stream, right? But I feel it's too specific. I feel my rants are gonna be specific to the games. So yeah. And I don't want to be like talking about Final Fantasy when I'm on a Guild Wars stream, and the opposite. That would be. I want to avoid that if I can. I haven't in the past, but I'd like to keep things, more organized on my end. So there you go. Let me just drink some water. I'm fucking dying. And yeah, it's a double MMO round on a Saturday morning. What can you do? It's unavoidable. Well, you can really avoid it if you wanted. You can just stop watching. I can't avoid it because I just have a lot to say, I guess. So, right. Let me just. I mean, it's better to look at the game, I guess, than the actual character screen. Yeah. So I'll just go in, but again, this probably won't be gameplay, though I will have the mind to actually run fractals. I can also show you my progress with stacking boxes from fractals, which, as you may notice, when I do, signifies or heralds the day of the second ginormous unboxing, I guess. Let me show you where we are at right now. That's where we're at right now. So it's been a month. Not a literal month as in, linearly a month, but like a month's worth, yeah? As I had promised, of stacking boxes again. And there you go. That's the result. 33 days worth of boxes. I want to kind of like hit 150 of those before I start opening, just to dunk on Dev, because Dev has been popping off with stacking, and so has where are you? I saw you. There you are. So has Lara. Running away. Oh god, there you are. You little box stacker. Hola. Eh. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just talking with Lara a bit. That's a cool Asura. Alright, so where was I? Oh no. Hey. True. All right, let's switch back to like you not seeing my chat, but yeah. So that's the reality of things. I was going to unbox today, but no, today I want to rant. I don't want to unbox today. I'm not ready. I'm way too tired. My inventory is ready. Ready air. Okay, ready air. So yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. I think next Saturday I'm gonna unbox. Yeah, today is a day of rant and not of celebration, indeed, especially for Spear Warrior. A day of solitude, even, because Spear Warrior is big rip. It's nothing. It's a fucking nothing burger at best, and at worst, it's a completely uninspired, steaming pile of fucking dog shit. So yeah, I made a huge post on the official forums, as structured and coherent as I could make it. It's a big one. It's meaty. Lots of meat and potatoes in there. And I'll try to convey my feelings about it here as well, I guess. Because I need it off my chest, because it's just a horrible fucking design, isn't it? So yeah. So now you know what you're getting into, and you've been prepared, and I've warmed you up like breakfast. And it's time to make the omelette, right? And the coffee, like to roast those beans. So. Where to even start? I guess I'm going to start with what they did with swimming infusions, which, quite honestly, is a lot more convoluted than I expected. I thought, reading it, I was like, hey, now we can have like an account-wide swimming infusion, right? Which upgrades itself. The more like you pump in there, the more infusions you pump in there, right? And that would have been very cool. And I thought it was gonna be like in your legendary armory or something. Unfortunately, it's not. So essentially how it works, to my understanding, like to the best of my knowledge, and also there is also an issue with it as well, and I'll mention it. But yeah, let's go back to how it works. Essentially, what happens is you can now buy you can buy any number of swimming infusions you want, which are the base item, right? So let's say you have 3 characters and you want all 3 of them to have their swimming infusion. And so now what you're gonna do is like you're gonna rip out the current swimming infusion you have, stack them together, get them on one character, go there and trade them in for the starting item, which is basically the one you see here, the account, the not appropriately named account swim speed infusion, because it's not an account swim speed infusion. Like the words here are very misleading, because they made me immediately think of like legendary armory stuff, account swim speed. Come on, dude. And also account is like pretty badly named because it breaks the 4th wall completely. So that's a minor pet peeve of mine. Like you're seeing your character and it's like metal aqua breather, superior rune of the scholar, this and that, and everything is like in lore and in game, and it's kept in game, and then you see account swim speed infusion. I mean, that's poorly named. Name it something else. Just name it swim speed infusion, or something fancier. I don't know. Shared swim speed infusion, something more subtle. I don't know. I can't think right now. Okay, I'm fucked up. So yeah, you will trade in your old infusions. Legendary infusion would be nice, I guess. It would make people feel like they own something important, which, to be honest, is a good thing to do. it helps. It's good copium. There's bad copium, there's good copium. This is good copium, okay? And anyway, so you trade it in, you get that weird shiny object there, that shiny orange-red object there that you see, they can swim speed infusion. And that is the base item. Now, without that, which starts as a plus 15 and requires, you know, the appropriate existing swimming infusions to, you know, for you to be able to buy it, by the way. So in essence, it is like creating a plus 15 from what I could tell, right? That's what it seemed to me like. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong on anything, right? So, yeah. So then you buy that base item. That base item is going to be 15%, as you see. And then it says plus account bonus. And that's where it gets silly. So now, instead of trying to create separately higher level infusions, so plus 15, plus 16, you know, 17, 18, 19, and so on, you basically do the same to buy a permanent account upgrade, which then is applied on top of the bonus of this infusion. So I had a plus 20, all right, and I traded that to get the plus 20 upgrade for the account swim speed infusion. And now that bonus is added to the base here. Problem number one, you can't see the bonus, right? You can't see what level you're at. Because it doesn't tell you, it just tells you it's plus 15 plus account bonus. And that's all the information you're getting, sir. Or madam, in my case. And there you go. That's bad. So the name is bad. How you get it is convoluted. And the tooltip is also bad. So the only thing this saves you is that now instead of using your, you know, plus 20s or plus 25s or whatever else you might have in terms of speed, of swim speed, sorry, you only need one to then trade it for the account upgrade. And then everyone who has the plus 15 effectively now would have plus X, you know, as much as your upgrade was. And that will save you some infusions, sure, like, because you now no longer need to have like multiple plus 20s, right? Obviously. But did it change anything, honestly, other than that? Which, whatever. Is it more convenient? Is it like different in any way? No, effectively it's not. So I'm not quite sure what they were going for. It feels like they wanted this to be a legendary item so you can have it on all, you know, on your account. And the system is already there. Like the infrastructure for that system is already there. So why did they choose to make it a whole different system of account upgrades? It's so weird. I mean, there is precedence, right? Because there are abilities that you can buy on various maps that empower you for that map, for example, right? So you can purchase, for example, the ability to gather more salvage or, you know, war supplies as it is from salvage in Drizzlewood, right? For karma, like you can go and get that and some gold. And then that's account wide. So it's not like there is no precedence here. It's not out of the blue or something. It's just, I'd say it's not the preferred way of doing this at all. It is not so intuitive. And it only saves you, and I say only, but in reality it saves you lots of gold because, check this out. Look at that. So whereas before you would have to have multiple of those, now you need only one to upgrade your account, swim speed infusion. So yeah, it does save you a lot of gold, but, and that's a very good thing, don't get me wrong, that's a very good thing. But if you want to save gold, then why not just make the ornate keys drop more often, or give us more ways to have them, which will, you know, boost the number of swim speed infusions available in general, which will lower their price because it'll be more common, if that's what you wanted, you know? So, I don't know. But to their credit, they actually did precisely that on top of this. So now, you know, keys are more common, and you can also buy keys from the vendor where you buy the account upgrades for your swim speed infusion. With Karma, if I remember correctly, you can buy 10 keys per week, and there are even more chests in the world. So there are now chests in fractals, for example. In particular, I think 2 of them. There's 2 chests in Siren's Reef, and there is, I think, more in Aquatic Ruins, which that was a good move because now Aquatic Ruins is a little tiny bit more or less hated. Because yeah, I mean, if you get it, you get it, and you know, you can have the chests in the end, and like, you know, which brings us to what I was about to say. You can open the chests if you have the keys on you, which that's silly. Just put the keys in the wallet, right? Just put them here at this point. Otherwise, you're forcing people to run around with their ornate rusted keys, or whatever they're called, right? Which is 1 inventory slot, which is annoying as fuck, because not everybody is going to be paying out of their ass to have an inventory like this. So, forcing new people who potentially want to enjoy like your new system of swim speed infusions to carry 1 additional item, not a good look, in my opinion. So, all in all, I'm pretty mixed. I have pretty mixed feelings about this system. Yeah, it saves you money, and yes, there's more keys going around, I guess, for you to find. But it's convoluted, and I think it's a wasted opportunity. The idea is good, but it's like such a wasted opportunity, honestly, to just make this system so much more better. Wow, so much better. So that's my rant for the infusions, I guess, for the swim speed things. What can I tell you? I'm fine with it. I'm really fine with it. I went through it. That's it. Boom, done. Except for one thing. They cost ectoplasm on top of like whatever else. I think gold and something else, I don't remember. Ectoplasm? Are you fucking kidding me? Like at this point, ectoplasm in this game is premium currency, the way things are going. It's like what you use for your legendaries at this point. And it seems to be used for everything that really, really matters. So, you know, getting clovers of vendors, or crafting your legendary, or buying your swim speed. Like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere at this point. I feel like it's a little bit excessive, and I talked about that before. Where I mentioned that, like, if you go and check my cost of making 2 legendary sets plus 2 pieces extra, and several, you know, my missing accessories, which are like Conflux and Vision and Aurora, I think. That's what I'm missing, I'm not sure. The vast majority, like the largest percentage of the cost is literally just fucking ectoplasm. And of course Mystic Coins and, you know, clovers and all that, for which I need ectoplasm. So I don't know, ectoplasm is just ridiculously hard at this point. I had talked about it back then. I'll talk about it now. I mean, they should even, at this point, they should offer it as a reward here. I'm not joking. Like, replace this pink orb for the purple orb for ectoplasm, and let us have, like, I don't know, 150 of them or something per month, you know, give us discounted ones as well. It's ridiculous that you're offering obsidian shards, or you're being offered obsidian shards, for example, but not ectoplasm. You're being offered literal gold, but not ectoplasm. And there is, like, ectoplasm is so fucking difficult to get if you know, if you need, like, huge quantities of it. Especially as, you know, as a new player, you'll be struggling. But even I'm struggling, like, I'm really fucking struggling with it. It's The situation is a little bit dire, honestly. The ecto economy is in shambles. Anyway, moving on, because it's been already half an hour. So, and you know, my Saturdays are precious. I like dedicating them to things I like to do. Streaming is one of them. So we're compromising. I'm streaming, but I don't want to stream for too long on Saturdays, if I can help it. And it's not a regular stream even. It's more like, you know, I'm just saying this in case you haven't been around. So yeah, it's more like just a leisure stream, just a comfort stream for myself. And you're just allowed to watch. That's what it is. Anyway, back to the point. No pun intended, because we're going back to talking about spears now. Yeah, spears, huh? Let's get the good out of the way. So, Thief Spear feels amazing. It feels really nice to play. It's a bit complicated. Not too much, but a bit. It does worry me, you know. Sorry, yawners. It does worry me that you're gonna have to be very precise. You know, Guild Wars 3 is a fast-paced game, right? And some of us also like to mash buttons. And Thief Spear, as amazing as it is, it relies on accurate weaving, because, for example, you'll be pressing one ability, and then the other one will change. And if you press that, then this will also change again. And you kind of weave like that, right? So you have to be very precise with your presses. And I can only imagine that in certain situations, that's gonna be a little bit maybe clunky. I don't know. But like, I was on a golem, and you know, golems aren't really indicative of, or representative rather, of how combat really goes. And on the golem, it was pretty perfect. I really loved it. And that feeling of choice is good. And I don't know, the animations look good. The stabby part feels good, because, you know, you just poke things, and it's nice as a thief. I'd show you, but I'm just so fucking tired, you know? And I just want to rant. I'm pretty sure there are like many channels and streams and YouTube channels that are far better at like showcasing. I'm just here to talk about it. I'm just here to yap about it, okay? So, you know, I'm not trying to steal their bread or something. So, and I'm also very tired, so I won't demonstrate. But yeah, Thief is 10 out of 10 for me. The visuals are on point. The animations are on point. It does feel like there is choice in your rotation and different like paths to follow with it. As in, you know, choosing what to weave when. I'm pretty sure some of it is just not gonna be optimal. It's very interesting that you could essentially make a life leeching build with it. That would work pretty well. So that's interesting for open world. That gives a lot of possibilities there for open world and solo play. Yeah, I don't know. The thief thing, the thief spear, seems to be pretty much on point. I mean, excepting of course some polish that I expect will come. Some, you know, whatever. It's also pretty strong. I think it's... Is it the strongest in terms of DPS? I'm not sure. If it's not the strongest, it's very fucking competent. I think someone reported like over 50k damage or something. So that's nice. That's pretty nice. I'm kind of worried they're gonna nerf it, just like they nerfed Bladesworn on launch. Which, you know what? As things are right now, they shouldn't have, honestly. I mean, consider the numbers people are pumping right now and how easy they do it. But Bladesworn had to be nerfed. That was impressive. You know, the one class that requires you to stand still and, you know, time everything perfectly and make sure you're not standing in shit, and then absolutely be dependent on stability from the party. I don't know. And now it doesn't even do, you know, enough damage to justify bringing it for the effort it requires. So yeah. For the effort and, you know, zero utility as well as a DPS. So yeah. That's nice. That's a nice preface to talking about Warrior Spear. So let me collect my thoughts here a bit. In fact, let me just go and get some coffee because I feel like I'm gonna, you know, face plant on my desk or something very soon. And I do want to talk about Final Fantasy, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna bring me some coffee. Do entertain yourselves while I'm away. I can't do it for you. I'm not in front of my PC. I mean, it's dubious I can do it when I am in front of my PC, so fuck that. I'll just BRB. Hi, I'm back with coffee. So, where was I? Right. Warrior Spear. Here we go. It's trash. And here's why. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate that fucking weapon. And I'll tell you why. Let's start with, like, what is it really for? Like, is it for Spellbreaker? Is it for Bladesworn? Is it for, like, what is it for? Well, it fits nothing in particular. In my test runs, I was happier with it uh, as a Berserker. That's what I feel synergizes better with, right? And as such, we already have our first problem. Our first two problems. The one of them is that it has no identity, and the second one is that, well, basically, it's for a build of warrior that is being overplayed to death, right? And yeah, that's also a problem in general with warrior, I'd argue, where no matter how much they try to change it, they've dug themselves into a hole with Berserker and Dual Axes and Greatsword, where it's just literally a better choice than anything else that tries to compete with it. There is no reason to play any other damage class, damage build as a warrior. There's just no reason. You could say Spellbreaker, but then again, it's literally the same thing, but palette swapped, right? Because it just, they both feel like they're the same thing. Just one of them every now and then pops a huge yellow circle around them, a huge yellow bubble around them, and the other one just turns red. And that's basically the difference. And I mean, I guess to be fair, if you like hammers, then you're gonna love Spellbreaker. If you like Dual Axes and the Greatsword, you're gonna love Berserker. So there is at least that, where neither of them sacrifices too much, and you can play both and do the same thing, a little bit different, and it still feels good and does numbers, right? So there's that saving grace. But I'm not gonna include, like, any more kindness in what I have to say about Warrior currently. And honestly, Dagger and Dax just... it doesn't... I mean, it produces results, but it doesn't feel good. The Hammer does, but Dagger and Axe doesn't. I don't like it, personally. That's why I don't play Spellbreaker. Otherwise, it might even be superior to Berserker. I'm not sure. Sorry, as I said, my voice is dying from sleeplessness. But Berserker has a great sword and 2 axes, and you can't go wrong with that. And it also feels very fast, whereas Spellbreaker feels more like methodical, like, you know, bonk, 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 big bonk, stabby, big bonk, you know, 3 different bonks, shoulder charge, pop yellow thing. You know, that it's more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it's more formulaic. Whereas Berserker feels like, you know, boom, 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 let's do that. Like, go headbutt. Like, you know, execute. Headbutt, execute. Like this, you know, sword, spin. It feels more energetic, which I can't convey to you because I can't be energetic because I'm honestly just dying in my chair. But you get it, okay? So it does have that. And again, like, great swords, come on. Great swords are fucking amazing in this game. No matter the class, there are, like, awesome skins, they feel good. I just like them a lot. And, you know, it's fun because you're hitting, like, you have a huge paddle. And you're just, you know, bonking stuff really hard instead of, like, cutting them per se. But I love it for that. I do. So, you know, no complaints there. So, where do we find ourselves? I'm really fucking dying with Spear. It competes with not Access, okay, and it also competes with not fucking Hammer. If you went for Spellbreaker, so you'd bring instead of Greatsword, but the thing is, not only does Greatsword look like immensely cooler and is immensely more fun to use, and even offers like some mobility and some other stuff, you know, and whatever you want. But it's also just stronger than the Spear currently in every way, for sure. And its adrenaline move is also very nice. Like its primal burst is very nice to use. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think, like, from my tests at least, number-wise, I don't think that the Spear can compete with the Greatsword, especially considering the toolkit as a whole and the cool factor. Which, I mean, Spears are awesome and I love Spears, but not the way they have them here. Not this way, for sure. So basically, to iterate, you're most likely gonna use it on Berserker. And you're most likely going to be replacing Greatsword. And that's not gonna happen. But there are also other reasons why it sucks. It's clunky. It feels bad to use. Like, it doesn't feel responsive. I'm not gonna lie. Don't get me wrong, it works. It's just the feeling you get is that it's unresponsive somehow, that it's sluggish or something. And I can't exactly place it. There's something about it that is just not fun to use. And visually, I mean, in how many ways are you gonna throw a spear? Well, ArenaNet brought us the answer. In about 2 ways. That's all. And everything else looks goofy as fuck. Especially the Primal Burst, where, you know, it's like a beam of spears. I mean, it's Looney Tunes level. Like, I don't understand what they were doing. And the sound effects are weak. They don't feel impactful. And the gimmick is also weird, where depending on the range from your target, you're gonna be doing less damage if you're far away, but it's a throwing weapon. So you want to be far away, but also not, because that's not when it does more damage. Like, what is that shit? Meanwhile, you have Ranger, where the spear actually adapts, and like if you are in melee distance, right, it switches to a melee moveset. It has other properties, just to be more precise, right? And I think maybe the animation changed. I haven't checked it, you know, firsthand. But what I'm telling you is true. It adapts to the range that you're at. And it's not trying to push for either range or melee distance. You can do both. Which sounds like something the warrior should be doing as the de facto weapon master of the game, right? So I don't exactly understand what they wanted to do with a non-melee close distance weapon. Like, what? Anyway, it's so weird. I'm not gonna go into the details of the primal burst being 2.5 seconds, which makes it like worse even, or like some abilities being very easily walked, you know, like people in PvP, which again, I'm not talking about PvP here, only PvE, right? But in PvP and world versus world, inadvertently, people are reporting that they can step abilities very easily and that they are very telegraphed, and so spear is just like unusable in there for warrior. Again, I'm talking specifically about warrior now, okay? And so I'm not quite sure what they wanted to do. So it sucks to look at. It sucks to hear, okay, to listen to. it doesn't provide any significant... I mean, when you do this, right? You can fucking feel the... You can feel the weight of the sword like propelling you forward. Or when you do this, you know, you can feel that. You know, if you hit something, you also like upward slash them and it feels good. And even this is like this frantic wailing. It's like... And the last bit here, you can feel it, you know, and the spin, the primal burst, you fucking feel that. And the sound is like this fucking berserk sound, you know, it's clonk. That's it. It's pretty nice. What does the spear do? Nothing. It's like poke, poke, many pokes, ranged pokes. Like it does nothing for warrior. It works on thief because thief feels like a subclass, you know, you know, an expert in the spear. They're using it like very nicely. But yeah, and the animations, my fucking god, the animations are bad for spear. And again, I'm sorry for not showing you. I could really just go and show you, but for real, I just don't wanna. First of all, I don't want to get morning depression on a Saturday. Second of all, I've been doing this like yesterday all evening. Third of all, I spent like a huge amount of time writing about it on the official forum. So, you know, I'm just a girl. I want to rant, okay? That's all I want to do. Just take my word for it, I guess. You know, or log in and check it for yourself, because you can do that. So, I don't know what they're trying to do with that. Doesn't feel good, doesn't sound good, doesn't play well. Not a lot of feedback on what you're doing. Like, you know, you don't feel like you're accomplishing anything when you're using a spear. It competes with a weapon that is iconic and very popular and very strong, and a very valid choice for like the build that it seems to want to complement. So Berserker. So its competition blows it out of the water completely. The gimmick is something you barely ever notice, like this weird distance thing where it's a throwing weapon again, but like the closer you are, the more destructive it is. Like, what is going on here? I don't know. The animations are bad. Like, can we have... You know, I often say, Final Fantasy should take a page out of Guild Wars 2's books. Well, it's time to say the opposite. You know, credit where it's due. This had the opportunity to be a Dragoon-inspired moveset for Warrior, and it would have made all the sense in the world. Because Warrior is not supposed to be flashy. Dragoon is flashy, but bear with me for a second. Warrior is not supposed to be flashy, but it's supposed to convey its strength through its animation, its sound, and the impact that you feel as you press buttons, right? The feedback you get. And Final Fantasy's Dragoon's animations would have worked amazingly for that. And I was hoping, like when I heard Spear and Warrior, I was really hoping that like it will be like Thief, right? And especially when I saw Thief being demonstrated, I was like, that's how Warrior is probably also gonna be, right? But no, it wasn't. So, but to get to the point, I was hoping you're gonna get a gap opener and a gap closer and a block, right? And then whatever other abilities that you can put in there. And my idea was, like, what I was hoping was that by using your gap opener, you then turn the weapon into ranged, and it changes how the other abilities work, and including blocking and counter-attacking. Off blocking should work differently at range. And when you use your gap closer, now that turns your weapon into a melee moveset, and it's different. And then also give it some synergy like the Thief, where if you go, you know, gap open to gap close to gap open to a finisher, it does something really cool. Something like that was what I was imagining. Or if you could weave, like, you know, cap open, do something cool, dash back in, or pull something to you, and then use block. And if that block lands, then you get access like to some kind of ulti or something, you know, because you did like 4 things in a row that are fucking amazing, and you felt awesome. And then now you're gonna be rewarded because you're also blocked, and then, you know, and it would make it like pretty crazy for PvP as well. And it sounds like, in my head, it sounded like this idea would like be easy to get into, but have an extremely high skill ceiling. And that would have been nice because that's what warrior represents, you know, in theory, where you're like a weapon master. And the reason why I was thinking about Dragoon is because, you know, jumping with Revenant is fun. Like, that spec with Revenant where they do the Arrow Man jump and dive instead of their dodge, that's pretty cool. It looks very cool. It could look even cooler, but it already feels cool, you know, it's impactful. And I was thinking, why not give Warrior that? Because Warrior is supposed to be like this athletic, you know, extravagant, like, you know, fucking heavy hitter, right? So why not give Spear the Dragoon dives or Dragoon inspired dives, you know, from Final Fantasy, and then have it, you know, do all the leaps and jumps and landings, and, you know, let it pull people, like, you know, maybe you stab like with your spear and then you pull backwards, and that, like, you know, pulls people to you, just like the staff move that we have. So I don't know. I feel it's a lost opportunity there. And I'm looking at it from the perspective of like, does Warrior need a ranged weapon? Yes, but Warrior already has like 2 ranged weapons. It's just that they're both very shitty. And that's the longbow, which I mean with the exception of like Condi Berserker. And rifle, which rifle could benefit from the spear's abilities. Like, why not just fucking take all that is in the spear? You know, blend it with the stuff that is already there in the rifle that already works. And what will come out from the other side of that is gonna be a very viable rifle. You know? And then tweak some numbers, of course. And then it's gonna be a very viable rifle. And I would love that. And that's your ranged option. And longbow as well. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of, you know, of it in a vacuum, of it being in a vacuum, where I don't care about other weapons. I care about, like, what does the spear do and how. So, yeah. I don't know. I think they dropped the ball. I don't understand how they can give us, like, such an enjoyable stuff for Warrior. And then make the thief staff for spear, and then you have warrior spear. Like, are they the same people that are responsible for these things? I can't fucking believe it if they are, for real. It feels like the spear was like, you know, the design and development of it feels like it was given to some kind of like external source or something, which doesn't know what is already in game and doesn't really know how the game works. Literally the only thing the spear has going for it on Warrior, sorry, I'm vaping as well, is that it's a bit of a nostalgic like thing with the Sun Spears and the Paragon class, and that's literally the only thing going for it. It's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. So yeah, that's my take on it. I think they need to scrap it completely. I think it needs to be, if not a strictly melee weapon, then a hybrid weapon, and I think it needs like heavy hitting jumps and leaps and maybe even like a, you know, a piercing thrust where you just, you know, kind of like this goes, but like with a spear, just, you know, just push through and like maybe even knock back people, like, you know, targets, just like fucking gather them, scoop them up and just like impale them here or something, you know. That would have been nice. I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's rest in peace for Spear for Warrior completely. I'm never touching that thing. I don't care how much they buff it, because knowing ArenaNet, right? Knowing ArenaNet, as much as I love those guys, no offense, like, you know, you're doing a good job. You're really trying. You're really trying to make your game work, and it fucking works. You know, it's good. It's you're trying stuff out. So, you know, I don't mean to be offensive here, but like, knowing you, all you're gonna do is like literally just buff the numbers to make it more appealing, because people in Guild Wars have an attention span of like 10 seconds, which is the duration of like an opening burst. And so that's what you're gonna do, isn't it? So rest in peace, I guess. Me personally, even if it completely demolishes, I'm not gonna touch it. It's, as a warrior main, I am offended, my good sirs and ladies over there at ArenaNet. I'm offended. Your spear sucks and I hate it. So yeah, there you go. But the Thief Spear, yay. Thief Spear is delicious. Very well done. Please don't nerf. You got Mesmers running around doing like fucking 50, 60k damage. Don't nerf it, please. It's a good weapon. Leave it. Leave it be. I like it. And I love how the Thief Spear actually makes Deadeye melee a possibility, right? More than a possibility, it makes it actually a thing. And that is amazing, because Deadeye is such an edgy class. It's like so fucking dark and assassin-ish, you know, and kind of like, you know, it's fucking edge, right? It's edge. Deadeye, I mean, the name, like Deadeye, you know, it's cool. So it's nice that it has now like a proper melee option, right? Apart from like sniper rifle and then 2 daggers, which was clunky as fuck and nobody used. So there you go. That's all I had to say about spears. I'm gonna use like, not quote, but use like a Azrael's expression here, because it absolutely, you know, encapsulates my feelings for it. So, Warrior Spear is caca, okay? It's horrible. Delete it. I'd rather not have a spear. I'd rather... Which, that's insane, because like I'm a fucking spear enthusiast. I love spears. Delete it. And just rework the rifle, because I also love rifles. So I would love that. You know, I'd love to be a berserker with a rifle or a spellbreaker with a rifle. I like that shit. And if you notice, I'm not even saying Bladespawn, because Bladespawn is also caca. It's like, it's fucking caca, okay? And caca as well. It's bad. Bladespawn bad. You nerfed it too much. You fucking nerfed it too much. You don't have to buff it, but then fix the clunkiness, you motherfuckers. Even though I love the class, okay? But I hate the class. It's a love and hate thing. It's fucking complicated. But yeah, I gave up on Bladespawn. I gave up on Spellbreaker. I'm fine with just being like literally a meme Zerker. It's fine. I give in to the fucking dual axes. Since launch day, fucking dual axes Berserker. Well, launch day ever since they got Berserker. I mean, you know, not... Yeah, you get it. You get it. And so, fine, I give in to that. I'll do that. I mean, it still feels okay. You know, Spinny Axe, whatever. This fucking move. This fucking move. Just delete it. That's literally the class. No, it's not. But you know what I mean. It's 80% of the class, maybe 70%. If we're being like absolutely brutally mathematically accurate. But, you know, it's not even 70% because execution is... Anyway, you get the point. The thing is, I'm fine with that. I gave up on Bladespawn. You introduce something fun, and you immediately like pull the carpet out of, you know, from below our legs, from beneath our legs. I don't fucking know. English is hard when you're tired. But you pull the carpet. And now you give me spears. I love spears. And you do it again. You fucking. I'll just be a berserker. It's fine. I'm just a girl. I just want to bonk stuff. I'll be a berserker. It's fine. Forever. Forever and ever. I'll always headbutt. And then glow red. And then do 1 billion executions. And like spin. Okay? I'll do that. Fuck you, Internet. Okay, maybe not fuck you, you're doing a good job, but like not with a spear. And not with blades for you assholes. Okay. And whoever is responsible for those, fuck off, dude. Get your shit together. Anyway. I still cannot, I'm not gonna accept that it might be the same person that designed the thief spear. No. I don't believe that. I don't think it's the same person who designed the staff for warrior, because staff for warrior is amazing. I love it. No, that guy is like somebody they just hired and you know, they wanted to impress the fucking the ruling council, and they were like, let me do the spear for warrior, and then that fucking thing happened. That's what happened. God. Okay, TLDR. Spear and thief. Muy bien. It's bonita. Spear and warrior. Caca. Or caca. Both. Very, very caca, okay? Very caca. Delete. Just take it away. Shoo. It's not a spear, it's fake. It's nothing. You just throw sticks at things. That's all you do. It's like, it's stupid. It's really it's just stupid. It doesn't work. Okay, it works, but you know what I mean. It's very bad. That's all I have to say. It's like, listen, if you want like a more structured presentation of my arguments, head over to the Guild Wars official forums and find me, and you know, find my post. This is me. All right. That's me on the forums as well. Go there, tell me how shit my opinions are, whatever, I don't fucking care. But if you want a more proper presentation of everything I said, you should go there and read it, and then you'll know. Otherwise, you're stuck with, you know, the shit that I just that just left my mouth, that has been leaving my mouth for the last hour. And yeah, again, like this is my rant. Okay, this is my rant, and that's why I don't care to have it structured on that. There you go. As for Elementalist Spear, because I did say I'm gonna talk about that, the way, so I can't really repeat what Neris was showing me. I understood what he was showing me on screen share on Discord. I saw what the problem was. I was like, my primitive Zerker brain was like, yeah, I see what you mean. Like this thing doesn't proc off the other things, but the big thing wants you to proc it through the things that don't proc it, which makes the whole thing impossible to play. And I know I can word it probably better, but like I don't want to bother. But basically, it's something like this ability builds up while you attack. But the ability with which it wants you to attack is not an attack. It's a self-buff. So how are you gonna build it? Ah, there we go. Neris is here. I was hoping I would summon him with my spear chanting. Elementalist Spear can be summed up in two things, says Neris. It doesn't have zero synergy with Elemental Toolkit. Yeah. Oh, it has zero synergy. Alright, so let's take it from the start. Elementalist Spear can be summed up with two things. It does have zero synergy with the toolkit, and its damage is pitiful. Yeah, but it looks amazing. And that, I have to give props there. It looks fucking amazing. It looks so good to use, visually, that I'll happily die to not being able to see AoEs under the effects of the Spear of Elementalist. I'll die, you know, staring at the thing. It's nice. It's nice, and it feels like you're casting. It feels like you're a caster. You know, you throw lightning bolts, you like it feels like a caster. Anyway, also small gripe, says Neris, is that the elements are copy paste. The rotation basically is always 5 4 2 3 5 in every element. Yeah, but I mean, like, you know what? You've been doing that in Final Fantasy for years. I guess I'm not saying. Okay, I'm not trying to defend it. It shouldn't be that way. Like everything should be like the Thief Spear is. Everything in the fucking game, if you can help it, should have that as its core. Weaving your abilities in smart ways, not just choosing which button to press based on whether or not it's off cooldown, but rather weaving a rotation but with multiple paths, not like Final Fantasy, where it's fucking stale bread. Just with multiple paths and multiple endings that do different things and complement different builds. That's what you should do with every weapon in the game. So I'm not defending that. All I'm saying is, if it feels nice to zap people with it, then fine. Because it also looks super cool. And so if it didn't have pitiful damage, I would be like, okay, you can get a pass. You could have been much better, but you get a pass and you just zap people like 5 4 2 3 5, change element, 5 4 2 3 5, change element. Fine. You know, if the results are interesting to see, cool, you know? But I'm not defending it. I'm not saying, you know, if it did any damage and it looked as amazing as it does, I would give it a pass personally. I would be like, okay, yeah, okay, I understand, but like, sure. But keep in mind that me saying that is also partially me being very grumpy, because I look at your spear and I'm like, shiny, shiny, sexy. Look at all those things happening on the screen, you know? And then I look at my warrior and it's like, brr, throw spear, throw toothpick, whatever. It's like, you know? If everything else would be good, it would be fun. Yeah, because I mean, some classes in Final Fantasy are okay, even though they're basically 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. That's all. And you do that repeatedly. But it does work, because at least, you know, something happens, numbers are big, you know, flashy effects. So I feel like Elementalist is trying to follow that formula. Which is not an innovation of Final Fantasy, by the way. It's a disadvantage of Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy didn't invent that style. Anyway. Wait, actually, maybe. I'm not sure, probably not. I'm not sure. I don't want to say something stupid. But I feel like I've seen this stale bread rotation style of gameplay elsewhere as well, but I can't place it. LS Spear feels like it could be a great support weapon, says Lara. Hi, Lara. Yeah, I mean, ideally. So in an ideal world, again, everything should be like the Thief Spear, where you can do a bit of like maybe self-sustain or support, and you can do Condi if you wanted, and you can do power if you wanted. So, you know, that's how it should work. And then at the same time, I feel like the right move with Elementalist, if you had to choose, if Arenanet asked you right now, ask me right now, how would you want the Elementalist Spear to function? And that's gonna be how it is. I would say I want it to be a DPS ranged weapon. Condi and power. So you can choose, you know, depending on the element. That's what I would say. Because when I watched Neris zapping stuff and like burning stuff with it, and like, you know, all the projectiles it throws, I was like, hey, a caster, you know? A fucking caster. Finally. The intent with it was to be a glass cannon ranged power DPS. Yeah, that's what I would do with it. So yeah, I don't know. But I mean, you could also argue that depending on the element, it should be support, condi, or power, depending on the elements you're using. You could argue that. But if I had to choose only one thing ever, for all of the elements, one thing, I would say ranged DPS glass cannon, for sure. For sure. I don't care if it's conditions, I don't care if it's power. Either works, I just want to see people holding a long stick and casting spells and like throwing lightning bolts and shit. You know, because that's sorely missing from Elementalist of all things. It's like literally sorely missing from that class. So they didn't do it with staff, but you know, if you're using your spear as essentially a staff, then we're Gucci. But I could see like switching an element, turning it into a support weapon. I could see that somehow, you know. So instead of like how it works where you see what I'm saying? So you're switching the element, but in reality you're switching the weapon at this point. Like its function completely. Like completely, absolutely. So you would want to camp certain elements. Yeah. So you'd want to camp certain elements and build for those elements and use it like that. You rarely camp them. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. With spear, it should be more definite, more definitive, right? With spear, it would be, do you want to use your spear as a support weapon? Then you will always be in earth, for example, or whatever else. I don't know how elemental it works, but that's my idea. You should camp it. You should be 80% on it. Yeah, that's how it should be. That's what I'm saying, yeah. Because Neris is saying stuff, for example, right now, you go fire earth for boons, and go water for healing. Yeah, that's what spear should be as well. So basically it should be staff too. It should be the sequel to staff. And that's why I think it should also have support, you know? But if Arenonit asks for us to choose one thing, then what I would vote for is just make it a casting weapon. Like really just allow elementalists to embrace their caster side, their long-ranged caster side, you know? Let them do that. Let them cast actual fucking spells. Anyway, and with that we conclude our diatribe on spears, on pointy sticks. Lara says, if I were playing support element, still I probably would pick spear now for it because of how cool it looks. Yeah, I was just saying earlier, dude, it looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so good that I would prefer to die to not being able to see AoE on the ground because of the effects than to nerf the visuals. Like it looks that good that I would rather just, you know, endanger myself in combat just to have it, you know, show. But what I would really prefer is for ArenaNet to actually address the visual clutter of the game. Your beta test names. Let me see. Queen XM. Oh my god. Yeah, I like your names in general. Especially the dark the Lulu one. It's like so good. So before I stopped the stream and then restarted very shortly after to jump into Final Fantasy and rant about Final Fantasy, I will say something that is in between, right? So Kaori showed Viper to me. Granted, that was a level 80 Viper, I think, or 90? No, I think it was 80. Was it 90? Did they start at 90? I'm not fucking sure. I think it was 80 though. They start at 80. Yeah, I was pretty sure. So I saw the 80 version of Viper. You know what it is? It is proof that I'm right most of the time. Because what Viper is essentially Thief from Guild Wars. Like, it literally is Thief from Guild Wars. And especially now with a spear, it is the same thing. Now, am I complaining that it is the same thing? No, I'm not. It's a good thing. Just like I said about Guild Wars, that everything should follow the formula of Thief Spear, where you have meaningful options that change depending on how you weave, and how you weave is going to change depending on the situation and what you want to do with it, right? That's how every class should be in Final Fantasy as well. That should be the basis, instead of this fucking stale fucking bread. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, with zero deviation, zero anything. I'm sorry to interrupt. Okay, go on. Interrupt me then, peasant. But Warrior Spear sucks cheeks. Yes, thank you. Everybody in the universe right now that has more than fucking 0.1 brain cells agrees with that on every level. And you know what? I'm gonna add something to that. Back when I saw the demonstration, I made a post on the official forums saying that Spear should not be a ranged option. It shouldn't be a ranged option. And people fucking trash-talked me to hell and back. And now, guess what everyone is saying? Oh, it shouldn't be a ranged option. Rifle should just get buffs and changes. Yes, motherfuckers. Yes. Thank you for fucking, you know, demonstrating that I know better than you. And yes, to bring it back to what you're saying, it is dog shit. Everyone just agrees it's dog. It shouldn't be ranged. In fact, a lot of people are saying it shouldn't even exist. And just buff rifle. You were looking forward to it. Yeah, I was super hyped. Everyone was super hyped. Everyone was hoping we might finally get an alternative to fucking Berserker, dual axes, and sword. Everyone was hoping maybe it will help Bladesworn shine, you know? Maybe it would change Spellbreaker, you know? And no, it's trash. It's dog shit. I was expecting Warrior Spirit to be that sadly from the start, says Neris, and I hate you, Neris, because I've told you before, I fucking hate your correct predictions every single time for both Final Fantasy and Guild Wars. Are you a fucking developer at this point? I hate your predictions. Every negative prediction you've ever made about Final Fantasy and Guild Wars has come true. It's amazing. Like, your consistency is alarming. Do you have, like, inside information or something? I can peer into the mind of the lazy as I have ascended in lazy. Yeah, I can see that. Like, I honestly believe it, but you're not lazy. That's the problem. Time to try NG. I will go back to it. I saw NG's moveset, and I was immediately like, that should have been Warrior. Like, the animations are Warrior. What the fuck are you doing, ArenaNet, with Warrior? What the fuck are you doing? Anyway. So, here's what's gonna happen now. I shot all over Warrior Spear because it deserves it. I praised Thief Spear because it definitely deserves it. And I patted Elementalist on the back, Elementalist Spear, because it tries. You know, it really tries. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna look good. It just went too much into the direction of, you know, if it looks cool, nothing else matters, you know. It's like, I just want to look good, but there is no substance to it. And having said all that, it's time to put down Guild Wars for a bit and do the unthinkable and log into Final Fantasy. and then, you know, do my intro again, in which intro I'm gonna tell people that, like, this is not gonna be gameplay, and that I'm just gonna be ranting. And I hope that people won't fucking hate me for it. It seems to be a consistent thing, a consistent occurrence, that if you talk negatively about Final Fantasy, you get fucking destroyed. So yeah, I'll just end this stream. As far as Guild Wars 2 is concerned, so Monday, Tuesday are going to be, for the coming week at least, are going to be probably both Baldur's Gate 3. I have some mods that I picked for XCOM 2, but I'm not done finalizing it. Like, I still want to go through some of them and, like, see if there are any duplicate mods that do the same thing more or less. See if, like, some of them are redundant, for example. I'm not in touch with, like, XCOM 2 modding, obviously, so I need a bit more time. So I think this coming week is gonna be, both days are gonna be Baldur's Gate 3, which is not a bad thing at all. I quite enjoyed my stream last time with Baldur's Gate, so there is that. But yeah, as far as Guild Wars 2 is concerned, it won't be this Monday and it won't be this Tuesday, but it will be on Saturday when I will unbox everything that I have in my bag. And we're gonna see what we're gonna get, and I'll try to make some good profit of that, like turn it into good profit, and especially the raw gold I'm gonna get. I'll try to pump it into or towards my legendaries as well. You know, kind of like what we did last time. You know, have a sort of like pseudo gacha. Which it's not gacha, by the way. I'm just calling it that because of the feeling. Kind of thing, you know, kind of stream with it. You know, make some things happen there. You know, pull some cool shit out of those boxes and do something cool with it. You know. And so yeah, I guess next Saturday is gonna be Guild Wars unboxing my loot, right? That said, time to hop on Final Fantasy, I suppose, and rant there. I don't know if it's gonna be another hour, maybe less, because I haven't really gone into it. I just want to talk about character creation, the graphics update, and then talk shit about it a little bit, like maybe 5-10 minutes, because like talking shit about Final Fantasy is like, it's invigorating and it's relaxing, and you know, it's good therapy. And no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I will like I will probably trash talk it. Okay, there are some things I don't like about it. Anyway, so, and I mean, when I say about it, I mean, you know, the stuff that greeted me once I logged in after I finished downloading Dawntrail and went into the game and saw my character and all that. And I know you probably think I'm crazy because, wow, they updated the graphics, but just, you'll see. For now, I'll stop the stream and I'll redo an intro because I want them to be separate streams. You know, gotta keep the stream separated, right? Ghostbusters said so. I'm gonna do so. Don't cross the streams, dude. Shit happens. You don't want to mess with that. If you're here only for the Guild Wars 2 stuff, that's where we part ways for the day. In which case, I wish you an amazing Saturday and Sunday. And I hope to see you on Monday and Tuesday. Alright? And sorry for sounding grumpy and tired and broken and fucked up. It's simply because I am right now. And, you know, in general, you can consider Saturdays a day in which, if it was a real life meeting between us, it would be the kind of where you wake up and you're fresh and you're like, oh yeah, let's go at Daphne's place today, you know, drop by unannounced and you know, cheer her up and stuff. And then you go there and Daphne is like literally fucking wrecked, just sitting in a chair, fucking contemplating existence, sleepless, like baggy eyes, red eyes, voice barely audible, and just goes like, "Ugh." And this is Saturday. And I need it to be that way. I need it to be that comfy, you know. I want to be like fine with that, you know. I can't always be super energetic, even about streaming. But I still want to stream those moments. So yeah, Saturdays are that for me. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you're leaving, if you're not leaving, then I'll just be 5 minutes. And then we're jumping into Final Fantasy and talking about that shit. But yeah, in general, before I go, I'm pretty fucking excited for Jump 3 Wilds. I'm very excited. I'm excited about the housing system. I do wonder, I'm curious about the story, like super just genuinely curious at this point. Especially considering what happened in Soto. And how that ties in with everything. I told you before that I knew that Soto was a filler arc, a filler introductory arc that will lead into like the next equivalent of like the Dragon Saga, the Elder Dragon Saga, right? So I'm wondering where we're going and what we're doing because it looks interesting. Anyway, and in general, I feel like it's gonna be a very nice expansion. But the spears. Now the spears. Well, the warrior spear. Kaka. Okay. Anyway. See you in a bit, alright? So I'll be about like 5, maybe 10 minutes. Probably not 10 minutes. Yeah, so see you there, or if you're leaving, as I said, have an amazing day. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate hanging out with you. And I hope that I wasn't insufferable, okay? Spear, Saxon Warrior. Just saying. See you in a bit. Bye.